Denmark does not announce its importance loudly. It does not rely on scale, spectacle, or dominance. Yet, quietly, it stands among the most admired nations on Earth. Set between mainland Europe and the Arctic world, Denmark occupies a position that is both geographical and philosophical. A place where land meets sea, tradition meets progress, and order replaces chaos. This kingdom is not defined by excess, but by balance. Cities feel carefully measured. Nature is never pushed aside. Society operates with trust rather than force. And as we move across Denmark, from historic streets to dramatic coastlines, one truth becomes clear. This is a country that understands how to last. Copenhagen, a capital built on balance. Copenhagen is not overwhelming. Its skyline remains human in scale, and church spires rise gently above rooftops. Waterways cut calmly through the city. The capital grew from a small harbor settlement into a center of trade, culture, and governance without losing its sense of order. Here, bicycles outnumber cars. Public spaces are designed for daily life, not display. Ancient buildings stand comfortably beside modern architecture, neither competing for attention. Copenhagen feels intentional, a city shaped not by ambition alone, but by restraint. Christiansborg Palace, power without distance. At the heart of the city stands Christiansborg Palace. This single structure houses Denmark's parliament, prime minister's office, and supreme court. In most countries, power is separated by walls, gates, and distance. In Denmark, power exists side by side. The palace is open, accessible, and understated. And this physical closeness reflects a deeper national value: trust. Christiansborg is not meant to intimidate. It is meant to function. Nyhavn, from survival to symbol. Nyhavn began as a working harbor. Sailors once unloaded cargo here. Workers lived in narrow houses painted for practicality, not beauty. Over time, the harbor transformed. Today, those same buildings frame one of Denmark's most recognizable scenes. The water remains central. Boats still line the canal. Life continues at a slower pace. Nyhavn shows how Denmark preserves memory while redefining purpose. The Little Mermaid, quiet symbolism. On a granite rock near the harbor sits the Little Mermaid, small, silent, and often overlooked at first glance. Unlike grand monuments elsewhere, this statue honors vulnerability. Inspired by Hans Christian Andersen's story, and she represents longing, sacrifice, and emotional depth. She has endured vandalism and controversy, yet remains. The statue reflects Denmark's cultural identity, strength without noise. Rosenborg Castle, protecting identity. Set within the King's Garden, Rosenborg Castle preserves Denmark's royal heritage. Built in the early 17th century, it holds the crown jewels and regalia. These are not relics locked away from relevance. They remain symbols of continuity. Rosenborg represents a monarchy that adapted rather than dominated. A reminder that stability is maintained through care, not conquest. The Marble Church, patience in stone. Frederick's Church, known as the Marble Church, rises with quiet authority. Its massive dome dominates the district without overwhelming it. Construction spanned generations. Delays stretched for more than a century. Rather than abandon the vision, Denmark waited. The finished structure reflects long-term thinking, a national characteristic. Church of Our Savior, perspective above the city. In Christianshavn stands the Church of Our Savior, Its spiral staircase wraps around the exterior, leading upward into open air. Climbing it offers more than a view. It offers perspective. Wind, height, and openness reflect a Danish willingness to engage with nature directly. Tivoli Gardens, preserving joy. Tivoli Gardens opened in 1843. It remains one of the world's oldest operating amusement parks. Yet Tivoli is not about thrill alone. Gardens, lights, music, and design create an atmosphere of calm enjoyment. It influenced global entertainment, including Walt Disney, and Tivoli proves that happiness can be cultivated without losing dignity. The Citadel, from defense to peace. The Citadel once protected Copenhagen. From above, its star-shaped design reveals military precision. Today, it serves as a green refuge. People walk, run, and reflect along its paths. A fortress repurposed for peace. The Black Diamond, knowledge as architecture. Along the waterfront stands the Black Diamond, a modern extension of the Royal Library. Its reflective surface changes with the light. Inside, centuries of knowledge coexist with digital innovation. The building symbolizes Denmark's belief that education is wealth. The Opera House, culture at the water's edge. Across the harbor sits the Copenhagen Opera House. Its roof extends outward, hovering above the water. The structure reflects cooperation between private success and public culture. Art here is not isolated. It belongs to the city. Kronborg Castle, history and myth. At the narrow strait between Denmark and Sweden stands Kronborg Castle. Once controlling maritime trade, it later became immortalized as Elsinore in Shakespeare's Hamlet. Here, fiction and reality coexist. The castle remains both strategic and symbolic. Frederiksborg Castle, Renaissance reflection. Frederiksborg rises from the water in Hillerød. Red brick, copper spires, and symmetry define its form. After a devastating fire, it was rebuilt through collective effort. Today, it houses the Museum of National History, a reflection of national pride preserved through unity. Ribe, where time continues. Ribe is Denmark's oldest town and founded more than 1,300 years ago. Cobblestone streets, timbered houses, and quiet rhythms remain. Life here continues within history, not outside it. Mons Klint, geology and time. White chalk cliffs rise above the Baltic Sea. Mons Klint reveals millions of years of natural history. Fossils emerge as waves reshape the cliffs. The landscape reminds us of deep time. Skagen, where seas meet. At Denmark's northern tip, two seas collide. The Skagerrak and Kattegat meet without merging. Waves crash against each other, a visible boundary between worlds. Rubjerg Knud Lighthouse, adaptation in motion. Once threatened by erosion, the Rubjerg Knud Lighthouse was moved inland, placed on rails, a structure saved by ingenuity. It stands as proof that Denmark adapts rather than retreats. Wadden Sea, life in motion. The Wadden Sea stretches along the western coast, a tidal ecosystem shaped by rhythm. Here, the black sun phenomenon unfolds as starlings move as one, nature choreographed without instruction. Bornholm, an island apart. Bornholm differs from the rest of Denmark. Granite cliffs replace flat plains. Sunlight lingers longer. The island preserves its own rhythm. Faroe Islands, edge of the kingdom. Far from the mainland, the Faroe Islands rise from the Atlantic. Cliffs fall straight into the sea. Waterfalls plunge without warning. Isolation preserved their raw beauty. They represent the outer boundary of Denmark's identity. Denmark does not compete for attention. It sets a standard, a nation built on trust, patience, and restraint. Its true value lies not in what it controls, but in how it lives, and long after the journey ends, that lesson remains.